Hi friends, it's me Red, and while I get ready for bed, I want to talk a little bit about how dancers actually get booked for performances, events, gigs, and how you can do it yourself. I've been a stripper for over 8 years now, and I've done so many cool opportunities like dancing with celebrities on stage at concerts. I've danced for different events and shows, and I've also been a part of just so many cool projects, photo shoots, music videos, and a lot of the time I get these questions on my posts like, how do you get these opportunities? Who are the people that are giving them out? And so on and so forth. So for today, while I get ready for bed, I do want to share with you guys what's worked for me. I just want to share with you guys like what's worked for me. I can't really speak for whether this is going to work every time for you or whether like this is going to work for everybody, but what I can speak to is my experience and what has worked for me in the past, because I do feel like there is a level of like gatekeeping when it comes to these opportunities, but I don't want to gatekeep from you my knowledge. I'll share with you what I know, what I've done, so that you can also put yourself in the position to potentially get opportunities like this as well. First, we're going to talk about the different types of bookings, because as a dancer, whether you're a pole dancer, a stripper, or like a heels dancer, whatever it is, there's going to be different types of opportunities that you can go for, and not every opportunity is going to be like a good fit for you and who you are and like your style. So knowing the different types of opportunities will really help you make sure that you're setting yourself up and applying for the right ones or the best ones for you. We are going to put my hair in some protective French braids while I talk about this topic. Let's talk about just like a couple different types of bookings that do exist. Usually where I see like booking opportunities is like on social media by being connected on Instagram. I don't really be on Facebook much, so Instagram is really just the place where I've honestly found most of my opportunities. Whether it was like somebody reaching out to me through DMs or emails, or me applying and finding an opportunity through Instagram. So first, there are like club bookings. There are clubs that are in like, you know, cities that might not be super popular, that actually book dancers to travel and dance for their club. So that can often look like a featured performance. So they might call these like featured performers, and you can be booked to come into town and work at that club, and you can charge them like a flat booking rate, and then you'll also make the money on top of that at the club that you work at. So like any tips or dances that you do, I'm pretty sure that money would go to you, besides like paying out house fees or tips and stuff like that. But yeah, there are such thing as club bookings. You can be booked as a dancer, as a corn star, and as a pole dancer, like a stripper, as like a featured performer. So that's super cool. Another way that you can get booked is like through private events. So a lot of the time people will put on like birthday parties, bachelorette parties, and they want like some dancers. So oftentimes like people will reach out to someone that they know that's like, you know, related to the industry, or, you know, seek through like, you know, sometimes there are like groups that you can become a part of so that you can be like recruited for these parties. So yeah, I think they're called like entertainment groups that you can be like a part of, so that you can, it's like an agency basically for entertainment talent. So that's another type of booking that you can do. And a lot of the time that's kind of varying based on where you live. If you're in a place where there is a lot of like events and things going on, it's going to be a lot easier to get event bookings and gigs, versus if you're living somewhere where there may not be much of a nightlife scene, it might be harder to find these types of events, and you may have to like go out and actually like kind of make them for yourself if they don't exist where you live. So just kind of keep that in mind. Then there's also like content collabs, like maybe you collab with somebody that you find online, so that can be a way to get booked. There might be celebrities who want you in their music video, or they want you to perform on stage for them. And sometimes they can be smaller artists who just like seek you out and find your profile online, or there may be like larger auditions for these types of opportunities. I've also been seeing like there's a new pole dancing reality show that's coming up, and just all kinds of stuff is always going on. So my best advice is to basically follow all the people on Instagram who are organizing events. If you know, you see that people are a part of putting together an event, definitely follow those people, and you can even message them directly and ask how you can get involved. But usually simply by following the people that you see in your local area or wherever you're seeking, and following them online will definitely plug you into a lot of insider information for whenever they talk about like events or whatever's going on. That's about it. I mean, you know, there's all types of things that you can be booked for. I just saw some strippers being booked for stripper news and going to Complex Con. So I've seen strippers be booked for conventions like the Exotic Dancer Expo, or I was invited, but I didn't end up going, to do a show at like a tattoo convention. So there really is an abundance of opportunities out here. You just have to kind of be ready with what they need from you before they reach out, so that it's not like every gig that you're applying for you need to like make a brand new video, but we'll get into that. Just remember that like each one of these types of bookings that I was talking about differ from each other. So like they can have different energy, like different organizers, different type of audience. Like, to put it simply, like I've danced on stage for Snoop Dogg, and I've danced on stage for an artist named Lizzy, who is a smaller artist, a female artist, and an independent artist. And I felt like the vibes of the audience and the outfits and the style of dance were both very different, but still up my alley in what I'm comfortable with as a dancer. So I feel comfortable dancing to smooth jazz, and I also feel comfortable dancing to like hip hop at like a hip hop concert, dancing to Snoop Dogg. Like it's just different energies, different opportunities. Like if you're dancing at a rock concert or a hip hop concert, it's gonna be a different vibe. And you wanna make sure that you're paying attention to that, because like even in Hollywood, when you're going to be an actress or an actor and you're going to be like a talent, not every opportunity is going to be the right one for you. Like maybe you're not the best fit for that opportunity, and that's okay. But it's really good to like kind of know the themes and the vibes that work for you or have worked for you in the past, or that you like genuinely enjoy dancing to. I think that will save you from a bit of rejection. Obviously you cannot always avoid rejection. Like rejection is a part of the process and a part of the journey. But yeah, just a little tip of like being wary that different opportunities have different vibes, different opportunities have different needs, and you're not always going to be able to fulfill every opportunity's needs, and that's okay. I've definitely had to accept that when I didn't want to from one point to another. So I just want to give you that heads up so that you're not confused when, you know, some opportunities feel like they're easy to get for you, and then others it's like, why can't I get their attention? So let's talk a little bit about how to get on the radar of the people who are offering opportunities. I just hosted the Stripper Summit, which was a whole week of workshops, a panel discussion, and a showcase with 23 dancers at the end of it. And it was a paid opportunity. All of the dancers got paid and got tips on top. So I feel like now that I've done this opportunity, I can definitely have a better insight into what people are really looking for when they're auditioning you or asking for footage. So let's just talk a little bit more about that. First of all, you want to have an online presence, but if you're specifically looking to like be a performer, you want to have an online presence that shows who you want to be. So if you want to be a performer, I want to see like performance videos on your page, not just practice videos like at the studio, which is great too. I want to see stage videos, whether you're at the club performing or performing for an audience at a gig. Not every video needs to be a performance video, but I want to see them there. Like, I need to know that if I put you in front of an audience, that you can handle that type of pressure and nerves. If I don't see any performance material on your page, it's not that I'm assuming that you're not a good dancer. It's more so that I'm assuming that you don't have the performance experience needed to trust you to go on stage for an important opportunity and put on an excellent show and not, you know, be nervous or whatever it is. Especially for some of these like higher stakes opportunities, like some of the celebrity performances I've done, etc. They need to be able to trust that you're gonna go up there and do what you have to do. There is no space for messing up. There is no space for, you know, nerves or like helping you through that. Everybody is focused on getting the show running and going. So that's why having like performance videos on your page is probably like the most important thing I could tell you in this whole video. Is you need performance experience and performance proof. And you're like, okay, Red, but how am I gonna get that if I've never performed? Do local showcases at pole studios, do dance showcases, even just set up some fancy lighting at home and get some friends to come over and take a video of you performing for them. Worst case, if you don't have anywhere else to, you know, practice performing, you can do this like in class. Ask everyone at the end of class to like sit and watch you. You can do this at the club. You can ask customers to like take a video of you performing on stage. You can ask your coworkers. So these are a couple ideas of how you can get some footage that at least shows me what you look like performing for an audience. All right, so that's super important. Obviously, having an online presence, I would say Instagram is the most important. I did also write TikTok, but I think that Instagram is definitely where a lot more of like business actually occurs and bookings. So take that with a grain of salt, but definitely want to have an online presence because let's face it, social media is where everybody is talking about everything nowadays. Like, this is where people are going to release updates, to release opportunities, to spread word about things. So you want to be in the know on social media, and you want to be following all of the people that you know that are creating opportunities for people. There's a lot of people who are creating opportunities in the industry for dancers. So make sure that you're following them and not just like, you know, being a ghost follower, but actually interacting with their page so that they know who you are, right? Comment on their posts when they post things on their story, respond, give your opinions, like be a part of the community, and that will do so much for you in being somebody that people know and trust when the opportunity comes around. The next thing I will say is that yes, social media is not everything, especially when you live in a place like a city where there is a thriving community and a thriving gig community. So some of these places include like New York City. I feel like there's also a gig community in like Miami and like other places like that, but those are the two I know for sure. And in those places I would really recommend like networking. Like when you do find these local shows, go to them, meet the dancers, meet the organizers, introduce yourself, tip well. Yeah, follow and engage with people on Instagram, like say like, hey, I love what you guys are doing, like whatever it is, just kind of like network in those spaces so that you can start to make friends and acquaintances. And obviously like there is a very thriving community for pole. There's already so many different like communities in different ways and like different accounts on Instagram, so like join these communities, join these group chats, and make sure that your email is on your Instagram. So email is definitely the way that most like business communication occurs, at least initially. So make sure that your email is either in your bio or on your profile somewhere. I definitely always have my email on my profile because I feel like they'll just see it and email me if they want to contact me, like it's right there. So definitely make sure that you're checking your email and answering your emails frequently. Just make sure that you're like being easy to communicate with. Someone who's difficult to communicate with, I don't care how good of a performer you are, it makes me fear that you're not going to show up the day of the show. I love someone who's a good communicator. Professionalism is so important, especially for these opportunities, and sometimes it's even more important than being able to do a spatchcock. So yeah. The next topic I want to talk about is standing out and how you can make yourself stand out in these types of environments, because obviously there's like a lot. I'm gonna use this resurfacing peel that my friend gave me from Beauty Counter. Yeah, there's always gonna be a lot of talented people applying for these opportunities. So how do you stand out? How do you get picked when there's hundreds of applicants? I cannot tell you exactly the secrets and what you need to do. It's not a formula that works every time, but I can give you some tips for what will help with that. And one thing I can say from my own experience is that your aesthetic can actually go a long way. So sometimes simply like matching the aesthetic of the event or the whatever it is. If you have a curated aesthetic, let's say you're like the goth girl of the area and it's a goth opportunity, there you go. But just beyond that, like I feel like having a strong brand, like for me, I'm red light. I always wear red and I have like a style that's kind of unique to me and it makes me like stand out. I'm always wearing red. I'm always like, my hair is down. I always have long red hair. I always have, you know, my tattoos. And there's certain things that make me stand out. Signature hair, signature makeup, or signature outfits, whatever it is, like something that feels very you, feels very true to you, can be something that you can build upon and make yourself stand out through. But try to take the things that you love about yourself and really highlight them, like bring them to the front, whatever it is that you like about yourself. I love my red hair, so I made it like the center of my brand. And it really brings the attention, like when people come to my page, they're like, red light. They see all the red, they see the red hair, they see the vibes, they see the tattoos, and they get a good understanding of like what my aesthetic is. And it makes me look, you know, like a curated artist who understands like aesthetics, right? And like respects that and will bring something to the table. If it's a show or whatever it is, I'll come looking good. And you can already see from my page what I'm gonna come looking like. Like I'm not gonna come looking any other way but this. This is my brand. And I feel like that does give people a certain level of trust in hiring me for opportunities, knowing that I'm gonna show up looking the part. Or if it's like something that my look doesn't fit, they can see that right away as well. Okay, so there's lots of opportunities where they didn't like tattoos. They didn't want somebody with a ton of tattoos. Well, they saw on my page right away I had tattoos and I didn't, you know, have to even worry more about that opportunity because they didn't want somebody with tattoos. So yeah, that is one way you can stand out, is just like emphasizing whatever it is that you like about yourself, that you think is like your best features, like bring them out more. How can you accentuate them more? How can you wear colors that look good on you? How can you create like some consistency with like the type of jewelry you wear, or the way that you express yourself, or your makeup, so it's not just like all over the place, so they don't know who they're gonna get when they see you. The second thing I'll say is reputation definitely matters. Once you get into the gig world and the show world, you realize it's actually a very small world. There are not that many people that are organizing these events or dancing in them, and reputation matters. So when you do get your first opportunity, make sure that you're being professional, respectful, and make sure that you're just behaving in a way that is conscious of the fact that people are watching you. You don't want to take anything for granted. You don't want to be snarky towards anyone, because you never know who could be offering you their next opportunity. And also you want to be grateful for the opportunities when you do get them. There's a limited amount of opportunities, and only a small handful of dancers get to experience these opportunities. So you want to make sure that you're somebody that has a good reputation, a professional reputation, and that people enjoyed working with you, so that they can recommend you to other people, or when somebody can't make it, you're the person that they call to basically cover. So reputation really, really matters, and try your best not to burn bridges unless it's like they treated you badly, which in that case, definitely burn that bridge and move on. And don't worry about your reputation with people that are haters or bad energy or whatever it is. There's always going to be people that are going to hate on you, or like not know the full picture, or whatever it is, or like start rumors about you, or whatever it is. Like, it happens. I'm not going to sit here and say it doesn't, but just control what you can control when you are in these environments. Show up as your best self, and just control what you can control. How you treat people, how you show up, how you perform, those are all things that you can control. And you know, what people say behind your back, you can't really control. So yeah, I would just focus on that. And then the third thing I will say with standing out is, if you're somebody that's good at promo, if you're somebody that's good at marketing, people will include you in their events, because that is value, being able to promote the event to people who will buy tickets and come. If you have that type of influence on your community or whatever it is, like if you are really good at promo and marketing, that can definitely be a plus for people to want to book you for shows, private events, whatever it is, where they might need some support with promo. So definitely show your value in that way on your page. Like, show when you are booked for an event that you're excited and that you're going to post about it and invite people. And that's definitely going to have the organizer want to invite you back. All right, so just a little tip. And let's move on to the concept of rates, negotiation, and boundaries, because this is definitely something that we have to go over when we're talking about gigs. All right, and there's always a question of like, how much do I charge? Like, what do I do? Because a lot of the time people come to you, usually for like private bookings, private parties and stuff like that. And a lot of the time they don't know really how much to pay you or whatever it is. So it's important to know these things and to be in the know. So let's start off with like, how do you price yourself? Pricing yourself is going to be very, very different all across the board, but definitely make sure you're not underpricing yourself. So what you're going to do is you're going to find some people in your network, and you're going to figure out, what are other people charging? Ask them questions. Say, what are you charging for an event? And yeah, not everybody's going to want to share that information with you, because, you know, some people like, you know, keep things more private, whatever it is. But maybe you can get an idea of like what the people around you are charging, so that you can get a baseline idea of like, where should I start my prices at? And also honor your worth above everything, because if you see everyone else is charging $100 an hour or whatever it is, but you know that you bring to the table 10 years of experience, you have been performing for a really long time, you've done all of these things, maybe you should charge $200 an hour. Maybe that's how you feel like your value is. When you really consider like, how far do I have to drive? How many hours of my day am I going to take up? Like, consider all of these things and what would be an amount that would actually feel worth it to you. And I would definitely try to get that rate if possible, because underselling yourself, it doesn't feel good. You put in all of this effort, you put in all this work, and then you only get, you know, a fraction of what you would have liked to get as payment. You are providing a service. It deserves payment. It deserves respect. So just please remember that. Always understand that it's okay to say no. People will come in my DMs and have all types of opportunities, and I have no problem saying no, or just setting my boundaries and saying this is my price, this is what is required for me to consider this, and if this is not cool with you, then we can part ways. You can find someone else. I'm not afraid to say that. So here are some reasons to say no. If people are trying to have you sign a sketchy contract, or a contract that just doesn't feel fair to you, if you are being recruited to like an unsafe venue, if like you're seeing the venue and you don't feel like it would be a safe place to perform, if the people are being disrespectful with their offers or just disrespectful in the communication with you, these are all red flags and definitely a reason to say no to an opportunity. Not all money is good money, and I would say, like, if you do say no to the opportunities that you don't like, it creates space for the good opportunities. Okay, so don't be afraid to fucking say no. I used to be afraid to say no, thinking, oh my god, there's not going to be any other opportunities, it's my only chance, and that's never the case. So if you do say no, you're opening up so much room for more opportunities. When you are booking for these events, make sure that you have a written agreement. So not just talking on the phone, but something over text or email that confirms all the details of the event. And I also recommend taking a deposit of 50% of the booking rate. There's always a booking rate, and then there's tips that you can make on top. So make sure that you set a booking rate and clarify, people are welcome to tip me on top of this, but this is my minimum booking rate. Also confirm when you're going to receive the payment. There have been many times where I've done gigs where I only get paid like a week later or 2 weeks later because of payment processing and so many reasons. And as an event organizer, I get this. Sometimes it takes a while for the money to actually get to the organizer so that they can disperse it to everyone. But make sure that you have an understanding as a performer, like, when am I going to get paid? When should I expect to receive payment? And it's okay if it's like a week or two afterwards. That's pretty standard. But just make sure you have this in writing somewhere so that you're not disappointed. And that's also why it's important to take a deposit. Okay, you will be so glad that you took a deposit when something does go south. So those are some very important tips. It's not just about money, but it's also about your alignment and safety with the event. Nothing is worth your safety. Nothing is worth like your misalignment. So just make sure that you're always prioritizing your safety and your well-being, please. I also want to note that there are ways to add value and basically price yourself higher if you have more to offer. So if you have a stage pole, for example, so you can offer the stage pole to bring to the event. If you have like equipment, props, costumes, like whatever it is, all of these things add value, and these are things that you can add to like your menu of things that people can kind of like purchase. I recommend, like, if you can, make a menu of your different prices of like, this is my hourly rate, this is how much it is if you want me to bring my stage pole, this is how much it is like if you want me to have multiple costumes, like this is how much each costume is. Or maybe you have like some burlesque dancers have like themes, so you can give them like a menu of like, these are my different sets, these are my different themes that I can do, like pick from these 5 sets and I can do this one for your party. So there's a lot of different ways that you can create a menu and have like a system. Creating a system, highly recommend, because then you can just repeat it, you can tweak it whenever you feel like something feels off, something needs to be more expensive, or something doesn't feel right. You can just tweak your system but continue to use that system and build upon it. Often travel can occupy like your whole pay. Like, I've had so many opportunities where I took like the payment, it was like $300, $400, but I spent that much on the travel or the hotel I needed to stay that night. So just understand that travel can be very expensive, and it's not always worth it to travel to give gigs. Leave some gigs for the local gals where it makes more sense for them. The pay makes sense for them because they're close by. But if you have to pay to travel and it consumes the money that you make from the gig, it's not worth it. You're supposed to get paid. Now, I do understand sometimes it's worth it to take opportunities for exposure. I've done it before. I've definitely taken opportunities where I didn't get paid, or I took a lower pay for the exposure or for the experience. And you know what? That's okay. Exposure is important. Exposure can lead to more opportunities. Exposure can lead to more money. But when you do take those sacrifices, just know that that's what you're doing, and make sure that you have money coming in from other places. Like, that's why I like to have multiple income streams, so that once in a while I can do something for exposure and not worry about like, okay, well, I'm not getting a check from this. But again, I don't really love doing things for exposure. I feel like it doesn't hurt to get paid, even a small fee, even $100, like whatever it is. Doing things for free does minimize the worth of what you're offering. It just does. Even if you offer it for $5, at least it's not free. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover on that. So let's move on to common mistakes that I think that you should try to avoid. So yeah, number one, don't underprice yourself, and also don't share personal information. All of my personal information is hidden. I don't share my personal phone number. I don't share my personal name. I don't share, like, you know, my address, any of that stuff. And I've never had to for any of the opportunities that I've had. Like, one opportunity I had where they flew me out, I did have to give them my information, but they were a trusted person that I already knew in the community, and multiple people had worked with them before. So just be very careful sharing personal information. If people want to book a flight for you, they want to book travel for you, tell them I will book it and I will send you an invoice, like of how much it was, or give me a budget and I will find the flights myself. Like, in general, try to book your own travel. It's safer to keep your identity private, okay? Especially as an entertainer. So please remember that. Second mistake you should try to avoid is to try not to be flaky. Communication is so important, and people really do like respond to good communication. Like, if you're a good communicator, people will really appreciate working with you specifically, okay? So just remember that. And the third thing I want you to remember is to avoid seeming desperate for opportunities. It's just not a good look. I would rather that you move like you already know that you're hot shit, you already know your worth, and that even if opportunities don't align, it just wasn't meant for you and you're waiting for the next opportunity that is meant for you. That desperate energy will literally repel the opportunities. It will repel the people offering them, because people that are organizing events are already so busy with meeting deadlines, making sure that everything goes as planned, making sure that everyone is safe, making sure that everyone feels good, making sure everything is clear. Like, there's so much going on that an organizer doesn't have time to answer 100 of your questions, or to like feed into your desperation for the opportunity. Like, it's not going to go over well if you don't respect the organizer's time. So just remember that. So before we wrap up this video, I want to talk about an important topic, which is how to keep getting rebooked, because I know how it feels to get that amazing booking for Snoop Dogg and then come back home and be like, well, what now? What am I gonna do now? And yes, I have been called back for Snoop Dogg 2 more times. I've danced for Snoop Dogg 3 times. I've been on more celebrity stages since. So here are some tips for how to get rebooked. The first tip is to be low maintenance and easy to work with, and also very grateful. If you're easy to work with and grateful and respectful, you're going to be somebody that people want to call back because they know that they can rely on you, and that you're not going to cause drama, you're not going to cause problems, and you're going to do and come what you were hired to do. It feels good when the people who participate in your event are grateful. So after the event, say thank you, and you can even post something on your story or post something on your Instagram and tag the person who booked you and tag the person who recruited you and say thank you for booking me for this event. That small show of appreciation can go so far in being somebody that people remember as a good hire, someone who was grateful, easy to work with. Okay, so public shout outs, they really do help to build relationships, because it does so much for both of you guys to show support for each other. And my third tip for getting rebooked is always deliver a strong and memorable performance, even if there weren't that many people at the show. Okay, there have been many times where I have been, I've been flown out a few times for shows, opportunities. Even if like the crowd didn't turn out to be what I thought it was gonna be, I still gave an incredible performance. I still gave it my all. I wasn't giving like attitude on stage. I wasn't seeming like snobby or like whatever it is. I just gave a great performance because that's what I was hired to come do. And I'm not gonna judge the situation. I'm not gonna judge the attendees and make them feel uncomfortable. I'm gonna come and I'm gonna entertain because that's what I was hired to do. And it doesn't matter how many people are in that room. You would be surprised. Sometimes it's the most important people in that room, and even though it's not a huge group of people, like you'd be surprised. Like some of the rooms I've been in with like the smallest audiences have been the most appreciative, highest spending, or leading to more opportunities afterwards because it was such an intimate experience. So never turn your nose up to anything, even if it feels like the event isn't what it was marketed to be or whatever it is. Just like always give a strong performance. You never know who's in the room. You never know if they're gonna host another event next. Like the first event is always the hardest. They're gonna do more events later, and if you want to be booked, like give a good performance. All right, don't be a brat, don't be a snob. Just be appreciative for the opportunities that you do get, and the more that you invite them in, the more that you say yes, the more that you'll get more opportunities and more friends and more networking and more people on your side and more people wanting you to succeed. So let's wrap it all up, shall we? And after this, I'm gonna go to bed. The more you treat yourself like a professional, the more that you will be treated like one. So go and make that professional business email, okay? And start to communicate with everyone in your network in a way where you never know what can come out of, a conversation with somebody or a friendship. Like you never know what somebody has up their sleeve. Like never underestimate people. Like you just never know when that opportunity is going to come around. So you always want to show up as the best version of yourself. Like you could get an opportunity at work tonight. You could get an opportunity from posting that super hot selfie you took yesterday. Like you never know when that opportunity is going to come around. So you want to be ready. You want to stay ready. If you stay ready, you never have to get ready, okay? All of these things really do matter. Like if you have performance videos saved, you never have to worry when that opportunity comes around and they're asking for a 3-minute uncut video, okay? A lot of the times we want to see videos of you performing uncut. We don't want to see edits. We want to see what is it going to look like if I put you in front of an audience right now and I tell you to perform. Like if you have the videos ready, when those opportunities come, you just submit them. You submit them and you're ready to go. You can be one of the first people, okay? And I promise that's gonna set you up for success, all right? I've definitely helped quite a few people get booked for opportunities that they've only dreamed of, and it's with these simple steps. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, okay? If y'all want like a deeper dive into these topics, maybe you guys want like a more in-depth, like let's really break it down, let's create like a whole guide, like a step-by-step, like if you don't even know where to start, like on pricing, like contracts, like whatever it is, let me know in the comments what are the types of things that you want to learn about. I am gonna head to bed, but remember that I have a whole bunch of different tutorials and courses related to stripping and dancing on my website, on my app. Go check out my digital courses, my digital classes, my digital financial tracker, okay? If you're a dancer, you definitely need that financial tracker. So check those links out in my bio. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. I love you all so much. Let me know what you want to see, and have an amazing day. Good luck getting booked. Let me know if this video helps.